Hey guys, welcome back to Brian Rock's Rusty. Update, I have gotten a better video card. I have gotten 2 terabyte hard drives onto my systems. I got this new microphone, which is awesome because it's a nice microphone. I've been playing a little bit of Rust. I think one thing that I need to get for the most part is probably a better processor, but that's going to be a later date because processors are expensive. I've gotten more RAM. I'm sitting at 16 RAM. And yeah, so in Rust, the wipe just happened. I played 1 day already, which I probably should have recorded then, but I did not. Found out that the guy that I normally play with is like right next door to my base, which is very lucky. I am in the process of taking over somebody's quarry area. I have a water base. I will show you that. Harbors are in, so I checked those out. Those are pretty cool. Not much loot, not much high grade loot there. It's almost not even worth going there because you can get pretty much the same loot out of barrels than you can at over there. I got a full rad suit, the one with the gas mask and everything like that. And on this server, they upped the rads. So, I mean, in certain places with a full rad suit, I'll get maybe 2, 3, 4 rads. So even with the rad suit on, you still get a little rads here and there. I've been working a lot in my normal life, so I haven't been able to make too many videos. And that's pretty much been taking up all my time. And caves are great. Last wipe, I made a cave base that was really good. Hopefully we can find a cave base where I can make like a cave vault or something like that. There's a couple concepts that I want to test out in here. I'm wondering if you can put a turret on a platform underwater and if it'll still shoot people and still work just fine. So I have a couple ideas for a base. I'll put a link down in the description to the video. On the last update, there was a concept limbo. Like, he does a series that has concepts. I think they're from the developers. Like, the developers put out hints of what might come next and stuff. And what they were talking about was scuba gear. Okay, guys, so here's the video. I'll put a link in the description. Concept Limbo episode 11 by Shadowfrax. Let's watch it.
To be honest, I think this is going to take a couple of episodes or more to do, but let's start, shall we, by looking under the sea. Now, I know I covered this one in a previous chapter, but this sunken submarine wreck is worth revisiting again because it was one of the very first new...
And as you guys can see, there's a guy right here that looks like he has on full diving gear. So if this is going to become a thing, it looks like we're going to be able to get some diving gear and stuff like that, which if we do in the future have like base rating, we could build a base underwater And raiders would then use C4, which I think they might make that the only thing that's waterproof, to where they could dive underwater and then attach the C4. Now, what would be really interesting to kind of equal it out is you take damage no matter where you are underwater, because if an explosion explodes underwater and you're underwater, the shockwave alone will hurt you. So that, I think, would be the equal way to equal it out. And you can't really eat anything or take anything like stem packs or anything like that underwater. So it might equal out underwater rating to where you'll have to go to the beach, heal up, come back, so on and so forth. But I mean, just this right here, I mean, shows that that might implement in underwater type looting areas, and this is where you're going to get all your high stuff like computer parts and stuff like that. Let's continue watching.
Concepts of 2016, and one that my inner Jacques Cousteau would still love to get his flippers on for. It was suggested as a great place for high quality loot to spawn, but as any diver worth his salt will tell you, you'll need more than just a salvaged snorkel to reach something like this in the murky waters of Rust Island. Hopefully it will be something that we can do one day though.
Alright, let's get in. And if there is scuba gear, that would turn out to be something really good. Like, if they brought in scuba gear to the, what's the word? I'm out of ammo. Showing underwater bases and stuff like that. And if they have underwater bases, then it would only be, what's the word? Would only be smart if you made a water base that you could, like, when they bring out windmills and stuff like that in the future updates, it would be awesome if they brought out like a water pump and with like piping and stuff like that. But one way they could equal it out is the pump has to be above water, and it puts off smoke, like you would use low-grade fuel or even a high-grade fuel to power it. High-grade fuel, I think, would be like, maybe it takes, I don't know, like 20 low-grade fuel to make one high-grade fuel, and you would have to have a certain refinery to do that or something like that. But it would pretty much, for how many pumps you got, it would pump out a certain amount of water out of the base that's underwater. So let's say you have a base somewhat off of the coast, to where you have 4 stories that are underwater. If you upgraded your walls to a tier higher than sheet metal, I think it's high quality walls or something like that, I don't know. But if you upgraded it to that, you could then pump water out of that area, and so that you can have a base down there, and then possibly like every time you open a door or something that's underwater, it would flood again. So what I was thinking is, if they did that, then they could you could have a loot room down underneath, and then you could flood it to protect it. And like the only, just like a normal Rust, the only thing that would get through to it is like C4 and stuff like that. So you would have to be really careful on, and it would make it much harder to raid somebody if they're out in the middle of the water. I got a lot of these. I'm probably not going to use them at all because the loot on this modded server is actually really good and I can get water pretty easily. The only thing different with this server than other people's servers is it's extremely hard to get sulfur. Sulfur, like, you break a rock, you're lucky to get 20 sulfur. But yeah, I'm taking over this quarry. Let's see if he left anything here. Looks like more sulfur. I mean, quarries are the number one thing you like absolutely have to have right away, or else you're getting nothing. Is there anything in here? No, so it looks like the kid wasn't on. Okay. But it'd be, I think you could even do, like, for the underwater bases and stuff like that, if they do give out, if they do allow you to make underwater bases and stuff, you would still have to have pipes coming up for air. You would still have to have pipes for exhaust, like for your exhaust pipes for the smoke and stuff for the machines and stuff. You would still have to have like a wind turbine or solar panels above ground to power below. And stuff like that. So it wouldn't be, the only time it would be completely invisible is if you pumped out the water with like the generators and stuff like that. And then after that, you pretty much, let's make a couple of these, a couple of these. And then like you took it up. But I think one way they could equal it out more is if you were to like make it to where you have to constantly pump the water out. That would make it to where you couldn't have to do it like that. And I think right off the bat, the best way would be to use here's a little bit of me just playing and building up my base a little bit. I'll probably show you guys a little bit of this every single end of every video in case you want to check it out. So enjoy.